All right. So, how to become a top 1% restaurant owner. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Gurveer Singh. Owned over 11 restaurants. We had a restaurant marketing agency. Now we have a restaurant growth agency, and we help systemize restaurants through AI as well as marketing growth. You can check out our website for more information. But the reason I just said that straight from the start, right off the bat, is not to brag nor to sound, like I have a stick up my ass. The only reason is because I feel like there's so many people that you can't trust in the industry, and more importantly, so many people that claim that they can do things or claim that they know things when they really don't. So the reason I wanted to make this video is because I look up to someone just like you look up to other people. His name is Alex Hormozi, and he basically had a framework around the mindset of successful entrepreneurs and successful business owners. Now, after watching that video, I distributed it to my team. Basically, showed them exactly how we can use this and leverage this to help our clients achieve better results. Because I mean, sure, we can do the things that we do to help clients grow, but if we can help them become better business owners as well, that just all in all make our results better. Because if we're working with you and you are a better business owner than someone else, you are going to get better results, right? And this is what this video is actually about. Now, how it came to fruition is I was talking to my head of partnerships, Jonas. Hopefully, one day you'll have the opportunity to speak with him if growing your restaurant is something you'd like to do. But I was talking to Jonas, and we were basically going through our client accounts, right? And let me just make this bigger. And the main thing that I was looking at, and the main thing we were talking about, was how is it that we have a very systemized process that has helped restaurants grow and helps restaurants grow, where we onboard a very specific ICP, right, an ideal customer profile, a very specific type of restaurant that we're looking to work with. How is it that with all of that in place, with all of that being so consistent, how is it that we have some people that get extraordinary results, some that get above average results, some that get average results, and some that truly just, it feels like we can't even get a hold of them, right? We can't even get things started because of whatever it is. And so um, so we were trying to review that and understanding why is it that, again, a restaurant owner who works with us can get insane results with a very similar concept to a restaurant owner who gets just above mediocre results, even though the process is the same and the advice we give is the same. And going back to Alex Hormozi's video and framework that I distributed to my team, I came up with this idea of content that I wanted to show you guys, and it basically exactly our concern or thought process was around this exact point. And when we were looking at the type of restaurant owners we were working with, it really struck how the type of restaurant owner or the person behind the restaurant dictates how successful that restaurant is going to be, regardless of if it's personally or with us. Now, and so that's why I wanted to show you how to be a top 1% restaurant owner, because that's kind of the analysis that we've done, and we've implemented this throughout our throughout our um, throughout our company to help us work with better owners and get them better results. Now, Alex Hormozi boils it down to 5 specific types of people, and that's the exact same process that I'm using because it's the exact same process that works for us. So, the first type of people, or the first type of restaurant owners we've worked with, are positive, active people, and these are right at the top. These are like the A star, A plus, like the creme de la creme of people, and these are the people that say, "I will win." Because of who I am. These are the type of people who will do things that can literally physically not be proven impossible. So for example, Elon Musk, right? He's built a rocket that goes in space and then comes back down and lands without blowing up. Obviously, it blew up a couple of times, but it's the fact that he's the first person that ever did that when it was deemed impossible. And so Elon's whole mindset is if you cannot prove it impossible with the laws of physics, I can make it work. And those are the positive active people, right? These are the people who are, I will win because of who I am, not because of who anyone else is. They're the ones that take full responsibility, that do everything in their power to make things work. And more importantly, they are the type of restaurant owner that deserves the success that they get, which is why he's like one of the richest man, or if not the richest person in the world. I forgot this, respectfully, I forgot his name. First person who ran the 4 minute mile, right? If you cannot physically prove that it's wrong, or physically prove it's impossible, I will make it happen, right? And so the top 1% restaurants are positive actives that are like, if it's regardless of if it's COVID, regardless of if we have rising costs of good, um, regardless if staff costs are going up, or regardless if you can't find labor, I will make it happen because there are restaurants out there. Well, not no, sorry, that's wrong. I will make it happen because of who I am, not because of how the economy is or how shit my labor is, right? I will make it happen. So that's the positive active type of person, and those are the ones that genuinely see the most success. Then there's positive passive. Now, this is the second tier of people, right? So they're not necessarily bad at all, like at all. Okay. These are honestly like people we would love to work with because they're exactly like positive active people, except they're not necessarily people who make things magically happen, right? They're not trying to prove the impossible, but if the impossible is proved, they will do it. So these are the type of people saying, because they did, I can too. So, for example, again, respectfully, he ran the first 4 minute mile ever, and then straight after him, like 19 people did it. And those are the positive passive people who are like, because they did it, I did it too. They just replicate the work. And that's honestly the type of restaurant owners that we love to work with. Obviously, positive active is great, but there's very few type of people like that. But then there's positive passive, and those are the type of people that are look, I'm joining your guys' program. I'm working with you guys. I'm partnering up with you guys, and I can see you guys have got incredible results for this restaurant, this restaurant, this restaurant. So it's not that you can't get it for me, right? And so because you got it for them, I'm going to commit to myself. I'm going to commit that I'm going to go full in with you on this, and I will get the same or better results than them because I know it's possible, right? And so those are positive, passive people. Now, this is like I said, the top 1%. There's a lot more people of this type, but again, these are also like awesome people to work with, and these are the type of restaurant owners that do extremely well as well. Now, the next one, which is the third stage, as it goes down in how restaurant owners act, is the negative passive people. I mean, sorry, the neutral passive people. So let me just bring this down. So the next is neutral passive people. Now, these are the type of people that say, okay, well, it's worked for other people, right? Gurveer, which is my name, Gurveer, your program has worked for other people. So let's see if it works for me, right? Let's see if it works for me. Now, most people live their life like this, all right? They just let things happen to them. It's not like I will like it's worked for other people, I want to make it work as well, right? Like positive passive people. These are people that are like, okay, well, you know, I will just sit here and I know that people have become successful. So let's just see that if I just sit here doing nothing, like it will happen to me, right? I will let you do your thing. If you do your thing, let's see if it will happen to me. And this is how most people live their life. This is honestly like majority of people. They just sit there hoping and waiting that things will happen to them. And this is honestly sometimes one of the worst type of restaurant owners to work with because it's like okay because the whole problem is they're like okay you do this and this or like we'll say we'll do this and this and then it just stops there. It's like you're not doing the other half that you need to do or the other 10% that actually moves the needle forward. And so if you're neutral passive, understand that as a restaurant owner, so like for example if it's COVID, it's like oh COVID happened, let's just see what we have to do. Oh okay, now we have to close. Like it's there's no sense of action, there's no sense of activity. It's just let things happen to me. And I could never imagine myself to be that type of person that lets outside forces and outside factors influence what I am doing and the type of person I am, right? And so if that scares you as well, stop being a neutrally passive person, right? Be a no one is saying you have to be positive active, but if you're positive passive, like you can do extremely well because if you look up to anyone who's done insanely well, then you're positive passive as long as you actually try to make it work. So that's the third level, which is neutral passive. Now, the fourth level, if I just move down here, dun, dun, dun. Hold on. There you go. So we just had some technical difficulties there. But now the fourth layer is negative passive people. So neutral passive are okay, it's worked for other people. Let's see if it works for me. Whereas negative passive is it might have worked for other people. Yes, I can see your testimonials. Yes, I can speak to this person. Yes, they can tell me that, your program works. But honestly, it probably won't work for me. Now, these are like the special snowflakes, right? Well, not necessarily special snowflakes. I'll show you who the special snowflakes are. But that probably won't work for me. People are the type of people that are like, okay, well, I believe that maybe you can, but I most probably can't. And this is really hard to work with because it's almost like they've given up on themselves, right? Neutral passive people are at least like, okay, let's see if it works for me, and they'll like let things flow. But it might have worked for other people, but it probably won't work for me. Or like, okay, well, I mean, okay, I can possibly admit that that it's worked for other people, but it probably won't work for me. So I won't even sit around, right? Like I'll do this and then I'll just carry on doing my other things. And that's a really hard position to be in because It's more so like you're self-sabotaging yourself when you're so close to at least like moving one step forward. So that's the fourth stage, the negative passive. Now, honestly, there's not a lot of negative passive people. I feel like neutral passive and then negative active, which I'm going to show you, are the type of are more likely to be types of restaurant owners, because I feel like every niche has their own personality, and I feel like if I'm talking to people, it's either positive passive, neutral passive, or negative active. I don't see a lot of negative passive people. So if a negative passive are people saying that it might have worked for other people, but it probably won't work for me, then negative active are the special snowflakes. These are the ones that say, I can prove that this will work for anyone but me, because my restaurant is special, because the local audience in my area don't want to do this, or the local people in my area don't like marketing, or the local people in my area don't know how to use technology, or you know um I can't reduce cost of goods because my suppliers don't trust me. Any It's whatever it is, it's any excuse that will make sure that they put themselves in a light where good things can't happen to them, right? So for example, a very easy way to think of these are like people who are overweight, where it genuinely is a very simple formula to lose weight, right? Eat less, do more exercise, burn more calories than consume. These are the type of people that are like, well, calories and the laws of thermodynamics doesn't work for me. It's like, what do you mean? Like, and the really scary part about this is these are genuinely people who are in denial, where we can show them that this works, where we can show that it's worked for other people, where we can prove to them that this is very, very likely, if not almost 100% guaranteed to work for them, and they will still be in a position where they are like, I guarantee you that I can prove to you this will work for anyone but me. And the problem with this, and it almost creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. So for example, a kid who believes he's dumb because his parents call him dumb will not study because he thinks he's dumb. Therefore, he gets shit. Therefore, he gets bad grades, and more people call him dumb, right? So, because other people call you dumb, because you think you're dumb, you don't study because you don't think studying is going to help. Because you don't study, you don't get good results, and because you don't get good results, you're considered dumb. And that is the problem with negative active people, that they continuously go into this negatively active cycle where they're confirming to themselves that it won't work for them. It won't work for them, right? Because if I'm fat and I genuinely think that weight loss won't work for me, I will eat really bad food and I will not exercise, and then I genuinely will still be fat. And so there's this self-fulfilling prophecy about these negative active people that rarely drives them to the ground. But the beautiful thing about negative active people are they honestly are the people that can go from they can turn polar opposite. These are the type of people that can go from negative active to like positive active, or like even positive passive. So for example, we'll have a restaurant owner and we do the process for them. And this is I'm saying this to you because this is like an honest example of how I why I don't why I don't think people should give up on negative active people. Alex Hormozi has his own examples, and that's why I love it, because I can see the examples in our own business as well, and speaking to restaurant owners. And so, for example, let's just say there's restaurant owner A, and if you've watched any of our other videos, I show you how to get more private events that are worth $2,000 to $5,000. Now they're in a position where they're neutral passive, where they start off neutral passive and they're like, look, I can get that this will work, but let's see if it works for me. So they make the commitment. But then instantly, as soon as things start getting built out, they become negative active. So we're generating the leads, we're doing everything it requires, and then the 10% that they have to do, which is, for example, previously when our old company was call the leads, or do the part on their side, they would not do that. And so they were negatively active against this, because they were like, look, I told you that this probably won't work for me, but now because I know it won't work for me, I'm not going to do anything about it, and they would just get bad results. And I was and I remember one, and then he was like, and then one day I get a message saying like, hey, how long do we have left or whatever of this program, because it's almost like they wanted to leave because they didn't think it could work out. And I just sat him down and I was like, look, I get where your concerns are at, but let's just break down the exact process and responsibilities that you were meant to do, or the process that you were meant to follow in order for this to work. Literally went down a list. Everything was not checked off. Didn't do this, didn't do this, didn't do this, didn't do this. And I just looked him, well, not in the eye because it's on Zoom. I just looked straight at him. I was like, do you understand why this is not working? Like, do you want me to take responsibility for this? Or Have we genuinely done our part extremely well? You just haven't done the last 10%. And it was almost like, okay, well, they're not wrong. And so if I can actually get my shit together and I can actually believe that this can work for me, this can actually work. And then as soon as he started doing the 10%, he started getting the results. And these are the best type of people because once they can actually change their perspective, there's nothing stopping them because they go from someone who is almost self pitying to someone who is self improving consistently. And so, if there's any position that you think you can be in, positive passive at least, right? Because you know it's worked for other people. You know there's restaurants that grow consistently, so you need to know that you can do it for you. No one's asking you to reinvent the wheel or create a rocket that re-lands, but just logically think if someone else can do it, so can you. Last thing you want to be is any one of these three: neutral passive or negative passive. Now, I'm not saying that if you are one of these three things, that there's no hope for you. You have to move up as a responsibility for yourself. If you're neutral passive, I feel like you're almost in a very tough position because this is very comfortable because you just accept things. Whereas negative active, if you can just switch this to, I can prove that this won't work for anyone but me, then you will really start improving your life and getting better results for your restaurant and generating more revenue and doing things or taking action on things that actually work. So that being said, thought I would end it here. Let you give you some insights based off of data backed research. And yeah, if you wanna be positive passive or even positive active and see if you can grow your restaurant just like the restaurant owners that we help, go ahead. There will be a link below. You can see some of the people that we've helped, some of the restaurants we've helped, some of the results we've gotten, as well as who we are, what we do, and a more extensive approach to how we can possibly help your restaurant. But that said, as long as you watch this and got great value from it, that's all that matters. And leave a comment below if you had any suggestions or questions that you'd like me to make some videos about.